Hello, welcome back to the Just for Fun podcast. Today we got a special guest. We got Fang Dad Hat. It's really good to have you on, buddy. This has been a long
Thanks,
time in
man.
the making. It's been a fun backstory, kind of how everything's been going on. But I'll let Pal kind of start us off here.
Yeah, we were just talking prior, and we just wanted to get like an introduction of how you started Twitch and everything like that, and just give us like a kind of a backstory on that. That'd be cool.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm Fang Dad Hat. I guess like I kind of my main thing right now on the online is Fang Dad Hat on Twitch, and I stream on all platforms again. But I started streaming during the pandemic. I had pretty much done every outdoor activity you can do in Minnesota over the course of like that first section of the pandemic, like the spring and summer into the fall, and the weather was starting to get cold like around Thanksgiving, and my kids were starting to play video games, and we were all kind of just still trying to figure out what we were going to do. I was a freelance filmmaker at the time, and I didn't have that much work. I had like sporadic work and weird COVID work, and I just had a lot of extra time on my hands to start streaming. And so we started playing Rocket League. I loved Rocket League and like learned to really appreciate and love the game. And it just kind of took off and built a community from there. So that's like what my main thing is right now. And the question you had was like what else? So, and I also, my day job is I do video production, like shooting, editing different types of content over the course of the last 20 years. I've shot and edited every type of like video you can think of. So yeah.
Dude, that's dope, man. That's
Nice.
awesome. I'm really glad you like found something that you're really like passionate about. Like streaming, I
Yeah.
gotta say, is a hard thing. It is not easy. It takes so much hours, so much dedication, and like obviously I've been watching you for the last like month and a half or so. And like I gotta say,
Yeah,
I
dude.
really enjoy everything you do. Like you're very entertaining. You do your very best trying to interact with people. The gameplay is awesome. You're really good at the game, and it's like you're definitely making it, man. You're doing a great job.
Thanks,
Like I
man.
gotta say,
Appreciate that.
I'm happy I met you too. Thanks to my buddy Pal.
Yeah, me too.
Like I'm glad we are able to like unite, and like we're all friends now, and it's really cool how
Yeah,
we're all
dude.
here too. Like because this, like I said, this
Yeah,
podcast it's been one interesting situation. I guess
I
it's
love that.
been
And I can
crazy.
see you guys are kind of like where you're saying with like when I first started streaming, it was kind of like my mindset was just like be positive and just kind of like I'm gonna meet people along the journey. Like if like the progression of my Twitch stream is literally a stream, I guess you could make the
Right.
direct analogy. But like, you're gonna be getting off to camp at night, and all of a sudden there's gonna be people there, and you're gonna meet those people. And so my goal is kind of like create a community with who I meet along the stream. I'm just going to be rowing down this river, and that's the community that's going to develop. And like you guys, like you, Alex, are now a part of that. And I love that because it's like, I think, there is networking, and that's a whole nother subject, which I've heard you guys talk about on this podcast before. And, Pau and I talk about it a lot. But then there's like the going with the flow and like kind of feeling out like who's coming into your path organically and being able to sort of filter those people. And I think that's a big part of your growth is like surrounding yourself with the right people and kind of taking advantage of like opportunities to network as they come to you too, where I think a lot of Twitch streamers, a lot of content creators can slowly become complacent too and not take
Right.
advantage of those opportunities as they come. So anyway, yeah, it's so great to meet you, man,
Yep.
and I
Yeah.
can't wait to see like how we all grow together.
I know. I'm excited,
Well,
man. I mean, we got to get some things in the works. Like we got to do some other behind the scenes stuff that maybe we can figure out. I think that'd be really fun. And like, yeah, the whole networking thing, that I'd love to go deep on some of the like networking aspects and like, social media and like meeting people. I think that would be like another fun recording we can do sometime in the future. Cause dude,
Right,
we could talk
right.
a whole hour about that.
Absolutely.
Like all three of us,
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, that would be
Yep.
really fun. That'd be a really fun time.
Let's do that. And
Yeah.
I might know another person or two that we could get to give us a different perspective, or, maybe we do a 4-panel thing or something. Like, yeah, I
Yeah.
want to sit and talk about that.
I know it's crazy because
Yeah.
like me and Pow and like our other two recordings, like we got like really into it. Especially I think the first one, we really took a deep dive into just some like life stuff, and dude, it was awesome. Like I
Yeah,
literally didn't even feel like any recording was happening. Like I literally just felt like it was just straight talking to like a homie of mine,
that's cool.
and that's it. And I it was the most, I gotta say, natural feeling I've had, like being, I guess, in a public space. And it feels so good because when you find that comfort, obviously it makes things just easier and more fun, and you're not so like stressed out, and like it just feels so natural,
Yeah,
and I love it, man. It's a good time, dude. But
it's awesome.
I was gonna start off the next one. I kind of had a question about, so you said you do the videographer like kind of work, right,
Yeah,
as your main
yeah,
day job.
yeah.
What kind of like, I guess, like if we take a little bit of a deep dive, what kind of things like do you have to do within that job? Like,
So I kind of, I to fully answer that, I kind of got to back up to like how I got into it. Not gonna go into my whole story
oh,
about
that's
it,
fine.
but when I was in college and started when I was in college, I first went. I thought I would do like pre-law or something because I had this mindset from growing up, Midwestern family. Like, the whole goal is like go to college and try to make a lot of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I really wanted to do is make video stuff. And I always was doing that with my parents' cameras and just ask Powell, like we were making sketches, we were making pranks, we were filming bands. I would film my hockey games. Like I would ask people in the audience, like parents or cheerleaders, to like put up my camera to hit record on my camera, and I'd set it up before my hockey games so that I could like watch my own tapes.
Oh,
So like
sick.
I always was fully embracing like video and like what it was going to be. I graduated high school 2003, so I was in high school 99 to 03. So I remember like Y2K my freshman year of high school, and like truly am kind of the zennial, or yeah, you would call it the zennial, like the Gen X and millennial kind of blend. Like that's what they call people who are born between 77 and 88, which Pow was born in 88. So we're like this weird subset of the millennial and Gen X, like sort of a hybrid generation, if you will, like for people who actually care about naming generations.
Right.
But I find it interesting because, I think each generation can be defined a little bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so flash forward to college, I hate my like everything I'm doing with pre-law. I decided to do public relations, not knowing what that is. Change majors immediately after finding out that public relations isn't just like going to dinner parties and like having drinks with
Oh,
people. And so I started getting involved in TV, like the TV production. Like I was working on a show called Trivia Holics, which was like a trivia show for that college students put on the whole production. And then I put what on another one called like it was some movie show, and we made a segment where we like went to kids' dorm rooms and like asked them what was in their DVD collection.
oh,
And because like collecting a bunch of DVDs was really popular at this time. This is right before the Netflix mail service sort of started taking off. Like
oh,
people were
wow.
really buying DVDs, and they were going to the video store and renting DVD series and then binging those. So from there, I realized how fun it was. And then people were like, yo, you can major in this. So I started thinking about doing TV production. And then I took a film studies class as a humanities credit. And I started falling in love with film studies, the idea of like watching a movie and then discussing it as a class and all this stuff. So as time went on, I just started getting involved in all this stuff and started getting my hands on cameras. And I realized and I saw out there like people are making videos like way more accessibly now, and I just started to see that you were going to be able to make your own videos, put them on the internet, and then do that. And it just sort of became a natural progression. I started using the equipment that I got from school, and I would have it for a class, and then I'd go and try to get a freelance gig, and I just started going from there. And I don't know how deep you want me to go, but
Oh, I mean that was
basically
good.
progressed into that. And then I started working at a company out of college doing video stuff. I started buying my own gear when I was working there. And then I eventually actually got laid off from that company because they were bought out. Someone bought all their footage. They sold their footage because they were doing subscription based television on the internet. And someone bought their footage and they put it on YouTube because YouTube kind of just killed the subscription based model back in the early, like this was 2010. So I watched kind of YouTube come up and take that over, and then we all got laid off, and then it was the perfect time. I just started freelancing and started a business and just started doing that for the next about 12, 13 years after that.
That's
So,
wild, man. Wow.
yeah.
That's a backstory for sure, man. Jeez.
Yeah, it's circumstantial too, I mean, it's like I was born right at the right time to kind of do that, and people are now. I'm seeing the younger guys keep doing it, and I love it, and I love seeing like what they're creating and the different ways that now we've got vertical and we've got, TikTok has got a vertical and widescreen, like you can flip it, and so now they came in and said everyone should do vertical, and we started doing that, and now we're all like, I could go on about all these little changes that have been made throughout the history of the internet, and I could also talk about where it goes. So, but yeah.
Next episode, dude, we got to do that. I'm
Yeah,
telling you, we can take a
exactly.
deep dive. That would be fun. I know Pow's got a lot on that too. Like he's got a lot of
I was
good knowledge.
he,
Oh,
he
go ahead.
does. Oh, don't even get me started.
What were you gonna say, Pal?
I was gonna say it's funny like how you're like, yeah, TikTok, but like I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos and they're like they'll be filming a YouTube video and they're like, what are you doing, a TikTok or something? And it's so
I
funny.
know.
But it's
I
like
love that.
they're recording a YouTube video, but now everyone's so used
Yeah.
to TikTok now, so they're like, you're
Mm-hmm.
filming a TikTok?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
just
and then I
5
was
years ago, they would have been saying, "Are you putting me on YouTube?"
Now
yeah,
it's
now
like, are
it's
you putting me
everybody
on TikTok?
current is doing TikTok,
Yeah.
so it's fun.
Oh,
That's great.
I was also gonna say, yeah, like I know that you really inspired me to get into graphic design and stuff, and I remember I bought my first camera when I went to Best Buy and I got like a credit card for Best Buy or something, and then I bought a camera, and I wanted to actually do like prank videos, interview videos, whatever, just like going up to people, talking to people and stuff. Like I was at a 4th of July parade thing, and then I was recording people, and like that was like before, like I don't know, it was kind of booming on
Yeah.
YouTube and stuff, but I wanted to really get into that. I think I probably could have learned a lot and stuff, but then I kind of geared towards design a lot more because you're like I have a camera, I like we can just film with my camera and just go get a computer and start photoshopping and stuff, so I did that. So
yeah.
Yep.
so
Yep.
I kind of owe it to Fang because I got into a lot of Photoshop stuff with like getting a computer, and then eventually I got an iPad and learned illustration more and stuff. I was a little bit late to the game on illustrations, but I was drawing a lot um on like my sketch pad, and then I would just like scan it and then trace it on Photoshop. It was a lot of work and it wasn't that great, but now I'm like vectoring and everything on. So
I
I just want
remember
to
when
say,
you had that.
yeah, and then even when we had like our media company and stuff, like I was like drawing on like trace paper, and then I would bring it over to the people that would scan it in, and then it would turn into a like a TIFF file or whatever. I don't know what it's called, and then I would have to like scan it in onto Photoshop and all this stuff, and it was just annoying. And like so it's
Yeah.
great how technology evolves and where we can, I mean, they had stuff like that back then with like Wacom's and stuff, and I just finally got
Yep.
an iPad and everything. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I went through a lot too. Like I'm like living in the ghetto and stuff, and having my TV stolen. Like we even like we were up there where like we were making decent money, and I bought a new drawing pad and stuff, and then I brought it home and someone stole my drawing pad, and like I was gonna go get it fixed. You remember that one that we got off of Facebook?
Yeah.
And like
Yeah,
I
I
brought
do.
it home. It was in the box, and then I went home just to fix the VGA port on it, and it was gone. So I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
dude.
you know what?
People.
Like
Ugh.
things happen for a reason. Sometimes there's a blessing in disguise, because I feel like if I would have kept working like on that drawing pad and then my computer and like how slow it was and everything, then I probably would have never got an iPad. So I'm grateful for that happening. So like it's
I
kind of
mean,
Yeah.
a like I ended up getting like a couple checks in the mail that I was like behind on like payments that so whatever that money that was owed to me and everything. I was like, I'm gonna get an iPad, and like I learned about all that stuff. And but
right.
anyway,
Yeah.
backtracking, I owe it to Fang for him inspiring me to get into graphic design. I was just gonna spin off of that. So
That's what's up, man. Heck yeah. No, that's really cool
Love
how you
that.
got kind of like that I guess that start, like that kind of that inspiration. I
uh,
wish I had a similar thing. My inspiration wasn't on like someone I knew. It was kind of like it was a YouTube group. Do you guys know who the Misfits are? Like
uh,
No.
they do like gaming and vlogs
Oh,
and stuff. Um
Australian?
yeah, I
No.
think it's New Zealand or something.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I've seen them.
Yeah.
They jump off cliffs and stuff, and yeah,
They just do crazy
they
stuff,
do
man.
everything. Yeah, I've
They're
seen them for
wild.
sure.
Yeah, they do like,
That's
CS2
sick.
videos, vlogs. They had a podcast called the Misfits podcast. Well, kind of like, I guess if we're talking about like, I guess inspiration, I got to say that was my inspiration. Like I found this, this group on YouTube cuz I've been heavy into YouTube since I was like, I don't know, 10 probably, 10 or 11. And I just got into
Yep.
YouTube, and I found them a couple years later. I watched a lot of their like vlogs and like gaming videos. I was like, dude, these people are dope. Like, I want to get into like content creation. And I was like, well, let's see if I can do this. So I started getting the equipment. I got the whole computer set up like during COVID. That was the prime time where I was indoors a lot, kind of like how you were saying.
Yep.
And so I got
Yep.
my computer set up, and then I started gaming, and then I got all the equipment, and then I said, you know what, I'm gonna start a podcast, and I started it, and I've been doing it for maybe 3 years, maybe 2 or 3 years, and so my big inspiration, I gotta say, is from the Misfits. Unfortunately, as a group, they don't really make content anymore. They just do solo content. I still check them out from time to time, but like it's always like crazy, like hearing people's inspiration stories and stuff. I really
Yeah,
admire it. Like it's so dope, dude. It's so dope.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, when someone's passionate about something, and then like, yeah, to see them know how to reverse engineer that themselves, knowing that they've already thought about that, they've thought that through in the past. Like
Right.
just understanding why you are where you are at, and then I think it helps to understand where you're going too.
Oh,
You know?
absolutely. Yeah, for
it's
sure.
called like an
Yeah.
origin story, right?
Yeah. Origin
Yeah,
story,
I
how
yeah.
it
was
all
I
started.
was I was
Yep.
trying to think of the word, and I was like origin story. I remember like
Yep.
watching
It
like
sounds so
Wolverine,
epic.
It does.
like the Wolverine origin stories or whatever, and like
Dude,
Yeah.
Marvel comics.
dude, title of the podcast, Origin Story of Fang Dad Hat.
Origin
Boom.
story.
Boom. Right there.
Yeah.
Title. But yeah, I was gonna bring up the next thing I wanted to ask. So like, um, kind of in the realm that you're in, right, and streaming pretty much full time. What are some of your like goals? Like, I feel like that's a good thing to kind of like bring up. Like, what are some of your goals for this year, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, that's a tough one because it's like
Tough one. Yeah.
like when I've always kind of had three phases in mind, but as time goes on, I've stretched those phases.
Right. Yeah.
But like, yeah, so the first phase was just during, the pandemic, as I mentioned. When I started, it was just go hard, right? Like throw uh as much stuff at the fan as I can and just see what comes out. And that lasted quite a lot longer than I thought it would. But I'm pretty good at, like, once I kind of get my mind on something, I'm pretty good at just grinding it as
Mm-hmm.
long as it takes. And I yeah, I just my first phase was just to get stuff out there and see what sticks, and then sort of start building a community. Then phase two was to start to work with that community to like see what they like and what they don't like, and figure out what's working and what's not, and what's building the most healthy, positive community. And I didn't want to rush that phase because I feel like I've seen a lot of like I also have been watching YouTube for a long time, and I've also been watching Twitch for a decent amount of time, and I can definitely see people get burned out, and I've definitely seen people get started down the road of making content that they're not going to want to make
Mm-hmm.
later on, right?
Yep.
So I don't know. I heard this from a streamer early on. I don't remember who it was, but they said the biggest piece of advice I could give you is don't make like think about what kind of content you want to make in the future, and if you can't imagine making that content every day as your full-time job, like 9 to 5, then don't even start making it. Don't even experiment with it, because what if people like it? Then now all of a sudden you have to make that. So
Yep.
I'm like, good. That sounds like
I
good
feel
problems to
that.
me, but
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, Pao. So it's like, yeah, you just gotta. I think I've been just trying to slowly figure out what people want to see, and I experiment with things, and ultimately, I have the. It's a good thing, and it can be a crutch as well to just have a game like Rocket League that has a built-in community. So there's waves like any other content creator, like waves where, oh shit, what am I doing? Like viewership is down. Is anyone still out there? Like, am I just
Mm-hmm.
out in the sea alone? Like, where'd everyone go? And then all of a sudden they all come back, you know? And it's like, I think it's just, they're trying to find out what they want to watch too and what they want to consume. Like, we don't have that much time to consume stuff anymore. There's too
Yeah.
much out there. We all know it. And I think just sticking, just trying to be true to yourself. It sounds cliche, but just trying to be yourself as much as you can and just create content that you enjoy making. I think just keeping to try to refine that and make that better. That's what I think that's the best way to sort of slowly grow.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm sure there's a
Absolutely.
bunch of other theories of how to quickly grow, but I've never been in it for the short game. I think the long game is the best way to approach anything that you want to do long term. Then spend the time to kind of do it right, you know?
Yeah. No,
Can
I.
I
I.
can I add to that
Oh yeah.
after you're done talking? Go ahead.
Oh
Yeah.
okay. Um, I was just
No,
gonna pretty
yeah.
much say like, yeah, no, I 100% agree with you on that. Like, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm taking the route is like, I'm putting the most effort I possibly can. Right. I try to make things the best quality that I physically can at the moment. I get advice from people. I look things up, and I'm kind of just doing what I want to do. Like that, I am interested in. I'm interested in gaming. I'm interested in podcasting, and in the future, I might attempt to kind of like do maybe some more vlogging. I've done a couple vlogs. It's not like my favorite thing. I don't hate it, but I might want to do more vlogging in the future. I might try streaming again. I don't think I could ever dedicate like every day or even maybe every week, but maybe occasional streams would be fun because then they get to see a different side of like, in the moment, like alive and instead of a pre-recorded, video, which is my preferred, but yeah, no, it's just crazy. Like when you stick to something that you really love and then you're passionate about it, people can see that, and then it just helps with everything because I feel like when you have that passion and it's burning, it makes everything just align in like the way that it needs to be, and then boom, there it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, what were you gonna say, pal?
Yeah.
Um, oof. Now it makes me think of other stuff when you're saying stuff too. Yeah, I was gonna say like branching off of what Alex said. Like when I'm doing vlogging and stuff, I just do it on TikTok and stuff because it's easier for me. So if you ever want to get into vlogging, like just like short format stuff,
Hmm.
TikTok is easier, or like if you do YouTube Shorts or something like that. But yeah, branching off of what Fang said, I think just like I think it's really good to focus on what makes you happy and what you're doing and your content, and not worry so much about, like, I guess as a personal thing, like I try not to worry about what other people view me as, or like what they're telling me what I need to do, or like get in the way of like the end goal, or like the plan that I have. And I know
Hmm.
that I'm certainly like growing and like evolving in content and what I'm doing and everything every day. Like I think the only people I really listen to are people that are like up there, they're doing something that is like exponential. Like I do like value one of my friends that said like, hey, you should stop doing these one videos, and I was like, I agree with you. So like, if you find people that really you value their opinion, they're up there already and they're already doing like a lot of big stuff. You know, people that are mavens or people that are uh good creators, you know, like some random people that aren't even doing it, you know, like I they give you advice on something that they're not even doing. I don't know. I'll hear it out, but I'm like, well, it's like you haven't lived through that. You're not experiencing it. But people that are
Hmm.
experiencing it, they're making content already, and they know they kind of know what they're talking about. I kind of listen to those people a
Yeah.
lot of times
Yeah.
because like I had one friend that was like, yeah, he's like just go out and take photos and of your merch and stuff, and like so I did that one time too, and like I just took photos of my own merch and stuff, and he's like find friends and stuff and blah blah blah, and I kind of like I can't remember if it was like before he said that or after, but I was like, yeah, I agree with you and stuff. And my other friends like stop posting these certain type of videos, and so I went and deleted all of them. I'm like, yeah, I feel better about that, and like it actually helped me
Hmm.
progress. um and I was making little short format videos, and um so I'm still learning and stuff, and I think the core thing of what I'm saying is to stay true to yourself and what you're doing, but also listen to people that are, you know, that you really value their opinion, that they're doing it, that they might be beyond what you're doing, or you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So
no,
Hmm.
I 100% agree. Like, I uh, I value your guys' opinions a lot. Like, I've come to you guys a couple of times. Preferences on like sound and video and just other things. And like in the future, I'll probably come to you guys about some other stuff. And see what you guys think. And I'm big for that. If you meet people that you genuinely enjoy and you guys relate on things, like we are all content creators, right? And so it's really helpful when you have those people you can relate with and you can talk with and get feedback. And we all do different things, but we're still all content creating. It's all the same kind of thing
Yeah,
in a
exactly.
sense. And so
Yeah.
when it comes to advice, like I try my hardest to really hear people out because all I want is advice. I'm at the stage where like I need advice, I want advice, and I will try my hardest to not obviously get really butthurt about something because it just depends on how people come across. Like obviously you don't want to just shoot them down completely and be like, oh, your stuff is just crap, and it's like, well, you got to explain to me like I'd like to know what is wrong. I'm
I
that kind of
think,
person.
yeah, I think when it comes to like collaborating, like you can't collaborate with everyone. You kind of have to just like find people that are the same vibe as you. And,
yeah,
it's like, it's hard sometimes to like when people are really anxious to collaborate. And I know it's not exactly the subject you were talking about, but it
Oh,
kind of
it's
made
fine.
me think about it. Like, like fit, you're gonna find your people if you just keep trying. You gotta try. And some people are really good at that. Like Pow is really good at like reaching out to people.
Yep.
And for me, I'm a little more introverted in my old age. Like when I was younger, I was hardcore networker, but like it was fun and it was just kind of second nature to do that. But now it's like I'm like sometimes like I'll have people who want to collaborate and I'll be like, yeah, yeah, we should. And then I'll put it off, and it just won't happen. But like so, and it's funny when you reached out to collaborate, I was like, I'm gonna like this was the start of me being like, okay, I've got to get back on the horse and really like try to say yes to more things. And
Right.
like positive things just keep coming from doing that and just try,
That's
but
that's
there's also
awesome.
people sometimes they don't fit with your vibe. What I find is introduce them to other people that you think do fit their vibe.
Yeah.
Another thing that I think Pow and I are both really good at is like seeing, okay, this person has like this vibe, and then there's this other person over here, and they don't see it, but we do. Like, okay, you need to meet each other, and then all of a sudden those people are collaborating. Or
Yeah.
with my stream, like it's people in chat, like, hey, you want to play? You want to play? It's like, you might want to play with me, but like I have comp partners already, but you would totally match with this other person over here, and they end up playing and having fun and becoming friends, you know?
That's all it takes, man. I love that. I love hearing that. That's it's awesome, man. Like it's just one of those things when you find those people, like you said, it just makes everything better. It's so fun. Like you have your own thing going on, and then other people involved with you also have fun together, and they're all like getting to meet each other, and it's just so cool because it's like a full
Yeah.
circle. It's like it's getting connected perfectly, and like that's all that I would hope for as a content creator is obviously having entertaining content that people enjoy. I find, the people who like my content, and then those people can also talk with each other or even with me and interact because I want to interact the most I can. And
Yeah.
it's just fun when you can find those people and you guys all have the same vibes and the same interests. It just it makes life just feel like, I don't know, it just feels like a movie, I guess. Maybe that's not the best way to explain it, but like,
I get that.
yeah, it's a cool vibe, man. It's really cool, and I don't know. I don't really know how else to add to that. That's pretty much all I
That's
had
cool,
on
man.
that. But
Yeah, I was gonna say there's sometimes with collabing, there's technical aspects to things, and like I've had
Yeah.
people
yep,
ask me like, "Oh, hey, can you?" I don't want to like, I don't know, I don't want to. Anyway, let's just say like someone wanted me to be on their show or whatever, and like they didn't use Discord, and I was like, I'm more familiar with Discord, so I'm not gonna really go on this other thing, this other platform or whatever. So I'll just say it that way. And then
that yeah,
I got I got asked to join another. I'm trying to say this in a vague way so I don't like call them out. So,
Should have just
but
never started the story.
you're digging yourself a
right,
grave. You're digging yourself a
I'm digging
grave.
myself a grave.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it like, yeah, I've got invites to certain things, and anyway, sometimes you just have to kind of weigh out the negatives and the positives and make sure it's right
Yeah.
for you and everything
that's
too.
yeah. I mean, that's
So
very fair, man. It sometimes certain things aren't for people. It is what it is. It's not like you're trying to be, I guess, rude about it. It's just like if you're not really vibing with it, you're not vibing with it, and people should understand that. They should have the respect for you. Like
Mhm.
I have respect for people if they're not like super into, for instance, my podcast. If they don't want to like tune into the podcast, I understand. But like, I also want to let people know that like, I have gaming videos. So if you like gaming videos, boom, there you go. At least you like something. It's kind of similar like to that, I guess. It's like, but then
Yeah.
also at the end of the day, if those people just don't vibe with it, they just don't vibe with it. It is what it is. Like earlier, you'll find those people. They will show up.
Yep.
They'll be there, and that's all that matters. And that's all you can really hope for. At the end of the day, as a content creator, you find those people you vibe with. You're golden. You don't have to really worry at that point. And
I think one
that's
thing I'm
yeah.
um sorry.
No, you're good.
I think I think one thing I am learning about just like as far as collabing and working with certain people, that I need to really have like a clear brain of like a time to set aside to be like, okay, I can get back to these people and message these people. Like the whole Casey Neistat thing where he's like, I use my text messages and my certain things as like he started this whole wave thing of I'll sit down and use and text and get back. Now I'm understanding it because I'm getting more people asking me for stuff and things like that. So I'm like, I need to like set aside a time
Now
where I
you
can actually.
understand me better.
Yeah, exactly. But like I'm like I need to set aside a time where like this morning I woke up to like 10 messages, people asking me for files for things,
Yep.
people asking me like checking up on another collab thing, and like another, and then I had another person that was like interested, and well, I reached out to them and I'm trying to do artwork for them, and they're like a YouTuber and all this stuff. Anyway, so like I had like business stuff, personal stuff, and I'm like I can cut through the personal stuff and like message those people back, but the business stuff I have to think about how I'm going to respond. So
Yep.
Yeah.
like I just kind of was like tired and stuff, and I was like, I don't even know, I need to drink my coffee. I made a video the other day, I'm like,
Mhm.
I need my coffee
Morning
before
coffee.
I message you back. And I was like, for real though, like I'm like I need like protein or coffee or water or something before I can message people back. Sometimes like I'm literally like shaky, when I woke up the other day and I was like shaky and I was trying to text someone back and I'm like, it was cold. I didn't have
Yeah,
my
man, you
coffee
can't
yet.
do that until you have your coffee. Seriously,
Yeah,
I
gotta
didn't
have
have
that
my
morning Joe.
coffee. I needed
that's
I
when I
needed
do
water
it.
and protein. Oh my
That's when I
god.
do my morning like communications. Is when I'm drinking like usually my second cup of coffee.
Yeah, it's like I'm not processing yet. I'm not awake. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna wait until like I feel, awake enough. I feel it. I definitely feel it.
Yep.
I'm
I'm
addicted to
starting to hate
caffeine, so if I don't have caffeine, I feel really weird. I don't feel right, and caffeine's not the
Yeah.
worst for you.
Same.
But I like the flavor. I like coffee. I like energy drinks occasionally. It is what it is.
I'm
Yeah.
But
starting to hate when I auto respond to stuff and I'm like, I need to really like get my head in the game when I'm responding to people because like it's starting to change where there's like a higher demand on stuff. So
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
That's why
once
I
you
think
get
you need a system through your website, dude. I keep telling you,
yeah,
but we'll talk about
yeah.
that another time.
There
Another
you
time.
go.
He likes the personal approach, but it's like telling the auto shop guy, like, hey man, you got a lot of people coming in, you need to get a computer.
Right,
Like,
right. Yeah.
it
I mean, it gets overwhelming. I can only imagine.
does. I know.
Yeah, it
It
is.
it's
took
my
me like
fault.
10 years till I started doing things like through I tried a whole bunch of them over the course of a year, but my favorite one I ended up on was called Wave,
Oh,
and it's just super simple. Um but yeah, it does invoicing and processing, whatever, and that helped me became the backbone of my foundation of like my business structure, but it took me forever to get there.
right.
Not saying that what you're doing is antiquated, because like you're actually like communicating with your client from the beginning all the way to the end. But I'm like sitting over here like in the peanut gallery, like saying like automate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard from my friend you should use ChatGPT, you should use AI and
No,
like
no, not ChatGPT.
No,
I'm
no.
just I
I
like I do a lot of I'm a little old school. Like I do like personal stuff and like when I call up like
I think it's cool.
some I like when I call something and like I have to go through an automated voice thing, like it just drives
Hmm.
me crazy. So I'm like I don't want to
Yeah.
automate that
You're
through
like a
like
boomer at heart.
yeah.
Hey man. Hey, I'd rather be a boomer. Seriously, like with this new social media stuff,
Yeah.
it's
I'd
Can
rather
exhausting
I?
be a
sometimes. You know.
boomer with communication to an extent, but then like a higher level. I don't even know how to
Yeah,
say it. But like a millennial where
you can
we're a
say
little
it.
bit more
We're higher
technical.
level.
I'm gonna say like we're like not I don't know how to say it. So we're not as old so we can communicate better, but then like a
Yeah.
boomer mentality. I'll say it that
Yeah.
way. A boomer mentality of like how it's like how we communicate and stuff. Like I like
Right.
phone calls, I like stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Same.
It's funny,
I
dude.
see
Boomers will they'll answer their phone no matter where you're at. Like I'll be like hiking with like my dad in the woods, and he'll be like out of breath and like 10 feet behind us, and his phone will ring. Hello. Oh, I haven't talked to you in 5 years, and then starts walking slower
Oh my
and stays on the
gosh.
phone when he's on a hike in the woods with your kids. We're like our generation. My wife, like, if I answered my phone on a hike, she'd be like, "Are you answering? Why are you on the phone? Like,
Right.
let's go." Like don't wait for your dad. Come on. Like, but
Oh
it's just the different generations. It's funny.
yeah. I
or
mean,
you'd slow down and start texting them back.
right.
And then it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Or
at
like
least you don't
where
have
my
to hear
son,
them out of breath.
my 15-year-old son, like I'll kind of, see him like sitting on the couch or something. And then he'll just have his phone on Snapchat, and he'll just be like, open up a Snapchat, and he'll just take a picture of like whatever face is projecting off of his body. Like, it's like, there's
Oh,
like, and he'll just go through his friends, snap, 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 just like it's a routine. Like he's not even putting any like effort into the image that he's giving. It's just like I exist, I exist, I exist. It's
that's
just so
honestly
funny.
that's pretty interesting, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, oh my
It's
gosh.
funny. But at the same
Well,
time, he'll send me pictures of really hilarious shit. So
I mean, yeah, that's cool.
it's cool.
That's dope. Well, I think this might be a perfect way to end off our little episode here. I think that was awesome. And if you guys have anything else, I'd say it now, I guess. If not, I think
Yeah.
that's good.
Well, I'll plug myself. I stream
Yeah.
it every night on all platforms. Fang Dad Hat. If you like video games or just hanging out, chatting, that's where I'm at every night on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok and Facebook.
Yeah, there you go, man. What about you, pal? You might as well promote yourself, dude.
I'm Pow Boom Pop. Google me.
Ooh, there you go. I like that. I like that. All right. Well, that was the Just for Fun podcast, and until next time, see ya.